Hello and welcome to Murray Bridge for the 5th round of the 2012 Monster Energy Drink MX Nationals. Today, Kam Williams and Mick Sinclair. Welcome, boys.
Thanks, mate.
G'day, mate.
Halfway mark of the series this weekend. A quick turnaround after Wanneroo. It's been 6 days. We're here in South Australia now. How's it all looking? Track looks a bit moist, but everything's looking good.
Yeah, track looks does a little bit moist, but I think once you get under it, I kicked the top half inch or so off, and it's just a crust at this point. I think if we get a bit of rain tonight, it might be a bit different. It'll probably blow out after.
I think 2011 the track was really unprepared. This year I think they've learned. Last year the track went really hard. It's renowned as a sandy track, and it wasn't that sandy. It went hard in places last year. This year they've ripped it a lot deeper. They've got a lot of water into it. It rained last night and today. It might rain a little bit more. So I think by the time it comes around to racing, the track's going to be spot on. It's going to be technical. It's going to get rough. It's going to get ruddy. Yeah. So I think it's going to be a lot better than what it was last year. And I think they've done a really good job.
How about these teams? We've seen Jay Marmon's bike stripped out the back. Teams are still working on these bikes after that stand of Wanneroo. They've been working hard. Hasn't been an easy week for these guys. A lot of riders have been resting pretty much since WA. Just a ride here or there during the week, but these guys were beat up after last weekend. They're coming out this weekend. It's a vital round in the championship.
Yeah.
It's halfway mark, 6-week break coming up. This is where we're really going to start to say, hey, from this point on, championships are going to, that's in for the long haul now. So Josh Coppins, he's got a 42-point lead now. He doubled that lead at Wanneroo. Was a great round for him. We knew that he would be strong in the sand.
Yeah.
What's his thought right now? What's his mindset?
I think Josh's goal was leading into the championship, but by the time we get into this break, he wanted to have a 50-point lead. So 4 rounds down, he's got a 42-point lead. So he's on track to do what he had planned out to do. I know he's got some things planned in this break coming up. He's definitely going to Europe. I know he was going there for a holiday, but it looks like he could be filling in for Frossard for a couple of rounds. So I only learnt that today, so that's pretty interesting. He come up and asked me for some gear in Europe as he could be racing. I'm like, yeah, we'll get it done. So he's got to get through this round, and then it's a break, but he won't be having a rest. He'll be going away riding and racing.
That's a great idea, isn't it? Just to get over there and race in that quality of competition, I think would be very good. Good way to use his break.
It's not confirmed yet, but it's 50-50, but that's something on the cards.
It's definitely something that I think, a nice reward for him. It is his final season of competition in Australia and I guess in his professional career.
I don't know, so Dacker's pushing hard to get him in for one more.
Now, spoken about Josh Coppins, round 1 saw Ben Townley win that one. He's here this weekend, by the way. Brad Anderson, he's won a round at Wonthaggi. Coppins has won 2 rounds. The Aussie guys haven't won yet. We know you're a big fan of Todd Waters. Can he step it up this weekend? Is it time? I spoke to him earlier. He said, this is his time. He wants to get a win before the halfway point. Can Waters rise to the challenge and get a win at Murray Bridge?
You've heard my opinion. You know that I truly believe that Todd can, and Lawson Bopping as well. Like, both those guys rode very well, and I would say that they were the best of the Aussies and a truly tough race last weekend. So yeah, I believe they can, and I'll back Todd now. I'll say that this is probably his race. I know after talking to him after Wanneroo, he was kind of a little bit. He was doing what he needed to do to stay safe, and especially in that 30-minute moto. So like I say, I've been ringing the bell for these guys all season long, and I believe that either one of those, I think either Bopping or Waters, are most definitely right on the cusp of a win in this championship.
Bopping's confidence is at a huge high right now. His attitude from how it is now from at the start of the season, you can just tell how much more relaxed he is. He's having a lot of fun underneath the city at Yamaha track. Back there today, he's mucking around joking with Dacker about what colour gear they're going to wear. Dacker being old, Boppo being young. So he's just so much more relaxed now. He's got a 3rd, he's got a 2nd, he's got one more place to go, and that's on top of the box. He believes in himself, he can do it, and I think a lot of people believe he can. He's definitely got the talent. He's fast enough. He's heading to the US on Wednesday. I'm not sure if too many people know about that, but he's heading over there. They're started motocross season now, so he wants to get over there and practice on Parla, Paris, Glen Helen, when all the guys are going to be out there practicing. He wants to work on his intensity, especially for the last moto. So that's what he's heading over there. He's heading over there for 3 weeks, and he'll be back a couple of weeks before Harvey Bay.
That's worked out to be a fantastic fit, hasn't it? Bopping to CDR. Look,
perfect.
He's just slotted in there, and Dacker's, really taken to the kid. And I think that's probably a long-term relationship right there.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I think that Bopping, he has come in. Josh Coppins, he's openly working with Bopping. He's enjoying it. It's not that sort of battle that we saw between two potential champions last year between Coppens and Marmont. Even though Lawson is a potential champion, it's more of a sort of a young guy and a more experienced guy there. So great team fit. Craig Duck must be extremely happy. And speaking of that team, the guy who departed there, who Lawson took his seat, Jay Marmont at Monster Energy Kawasaki now. Last weekend was a big breakthrough for him. Might not have finished the way that he wanted, but that win that he took in Moto 2, his confidence has taken a big, boost for Murray Bridge. As far as Jay goes, where's his health at? We know that it was a calf problem, dehydration problem as well. He was just fatigued in that final moto.
Yep.
I think this is a round where we could see Jay carry that momentum. He would like nothing more than a win.
I was really impressed with his first moto. He got the whole shot, had a bit of a tip over, and then he rode angry. I haven't seen Jay ride like that for a while. I thought from the first motor he just looked like something had clicked with Jay, same as it did in Coonabarabran last year. Intensity in the second motor was awesome. He grabbed 3 seconds out of Josh Coppens in one lap, the second last lap.
Yeah.
So, the speed is phenomenal, man, and obviously, the knee and there's...
Josh did make a little bit of a mistake, though, in that lap where he reeled him in. It was actually 4 seconds when he got him.
Yep.
But that's still, for Jay, that win came from nowhere. No one was really expecting him. Everyone was questioning his health, but it was so good to see him. He looked completely different in that second race. And, he went out and started like that in the third one too. But, he had that crash where he fell off, and I'm not sure really what happened. You'd know more, Alex, but... He looked like the old Jay Marmont that everyone knows.
How about those starts too? He's been just firing out of the gate all year long. That's been impressive for him, impressive for Kawasaki, and I think that in second half of the year he's going to really get steamrolling. It's a big long shot to this championship, but you never know with Jay Marmont. Now, Ty Simmons and Jake Moss, we saw those two start the year. Obviously really strong. Jake won those two motos at Coonabarabran. Ty finished on the podium there that weekend as well. They sort of lost a little bit of momentum in these past, couple of rounds. Jake had bad luck. Both were experienced the highs and lows of privateer racing. Mick, for you, what would be a good result for these guys heading into the break? Is top 5 good enough, or should we see them on the podium?
No, I think top 5 is realistic. And we saw him, like I said, in the past. We saw him ride really fast at Coonabarabran, and honestly believe that's because they ride there a lot. Top 5 is realistic for those guys. Ty drove all the way from his house to Wanneroo last week, and that's a mission for anyone to do. Even like a lot of the privateers are flying, but he decided to jump in his truck with his old man and a mate, and they drove all the way over. And I'm pretty sure they drove back here as well. That's got to have its disadvantages.
What about, we see in America this weekend, Hangtown's going to open up the AMA season. What a difference it is for Ty Simmons. He's come from America. Now he's full privateer in MX Nationals. It's time for him, if he really wants to step up and get back into a factory team or get back to America next year, this is a time where he really needs to start getting that momentum back. The MX2 class, Luke Stark, we're under the Serco Yamaha Metal Militia Racing Team 10 this weekend at Murray Bridge. MX2, he's been the championship leader. Stark has a 39-point lead. Another big win last weekend at Wanneroo. Yeah. 2 wins to start the round, 4th to finish off the day for the overall. He's told me that he wants at least 4th place in every moto, aiming for an average of 60 points. How impressive has Luke been all year long?
Very strong for a guy who works one day a week still. He's amazing, we saw it from him last year. He had the pace, but he was, doing crazy hours driving, you just can't do it and operate at this level.
And doing it all by himself.
Yeah, doing everything, literally at Coonabarabran, sitting behind the gate with a bucket and his own set of goggles and no one helping him, So, man, the kid's always had it. I think he's just probably found that little bit of maturity now, and the guys at Serco, Michael Marty and Gavin Eels, and those guys have really got him dialed. He's awesome this year, man.
And I found him very impressive. I did not expect him to do this, what he's done at all. There's no way. If you had told me after round 4 he'd have a 39-point lead at the start of the year, there's no way I would have believed it.
I don't think anyone would have believed it, it's great.
Yeah. And he's having fun too, which is it's a great thing for the team. I know Gavin Eel, he must be stoked. The guys at Metal Militia, they're new on board this year. Just a good team, a good feel. And this weekend, Kurt Gibbs is home round in South Australia. Him and Ford Dale, they've been strong this year. Both have won their own rounds of the championship. What have those two got to do to peg back Luke Stark here at Murray Bridge?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Gibbsy doesn't look how he used to look. I'm not sure if there's something wrong. Is his wrist still playing up? I'm not sure. Hopefully he can bounce back this weekend. We know he's fast here. He always has been. Ford, he can be faster than anyone on any day.
Yeah.
He's just got to put it together. Konski's flown in Townley, for this weekend, and I believe he'll be here at every round working with Ty. So that's going to help Ford a lot. Having someone like Townley in your corner, it has to help. It's going to push him, work with him, talk technique. It'll help him a lot.
I think that with Ford, it's a mental game so much. He was always, and it just seems like he's just changed his attitude and it's working really well.
Now these Victorians in MX2, they've been strong all year. So impressive, the likes of Boyd, Keisha, Mosig, Monia.
Yeah.
I know you're friends with all those guys, Mick. We give you a little bit of a hard time saying,
right.
The Victorian guys, they're your boys, but they deserve every little bit of props that they get. These guys have been on the pace all year long.
Very strong this year, very, very strong. They deserve it, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, it's good. I guess a lot of the MX Nationals tracks in the past too have been hard pack. Our tracks down home are pretty sandy, so like I said, Wanneroo last weekend. This weekend we're here in Murray Bridge, and round 6 is sand at Harvey Bay. So that's working in their corner as well. But yeah, the guys are stepping up. They're riding awesome. I'm stoked to have those Victorian guys. It's good to see. It's always been the Queensland versus New South Wales thing in the past, but now it's really awesome to see some big guys get up there. I'm stoked about it.
I'm definitely loving that class this year, the MX2. Those boys are just so fast. They're just on the pace. I'd love to see how they compare this year compared to what we saw from Matt Moss last year.
Someone like Shane Boyd stepping back, like he's changed his riding style, changed his body shape, gone to a privateer team, and man, he's on the pace right there.
The most interesting about this weekend, we've got to remember that a lot of the guys have had wins at this track before. Monia had a clean sweep in 2008. Stykes, he's won here before. Gibbs, he's won here before. Boyd, he's won plenty of MX1 races here, as well as you can't forget Errol Willis won under 19s here last year, so he could be up there. We know he doesn't like the sand so much, but he did okay last year. So that's going to be something to make tomorrow really interesting. Is they've all won races here before. They've all had big wins, and who knows what's going to happen.
We'll touch on the MXD guys real quick. The under 19s category, WA, they weren't there. They're back this weekend. Dylan Long currently leads the series, but to me, so far, nobody seems to be stepping up and taking hold of this championship.
No.
What can we expect from these guys? Is somebody going to step up and take charge, or what's going to happen?
Oh, look, Dylan Long, I think coming into the season, Dylan Long and Jay Wilson were the two threats. Kane Lamont's shown up. Cale Makeham's appeared. There's Mitch Budd, Dylan Wills, I think it is, out of Tasmania. All these kids are stepping up. It's hard to take, hard to grab hold of this class by the throat. Is the 252 stroke a factor? Is it 2-stroke versus 4th stroke, or
I think Dylan's the fastest. Dylan Long, there's a lot of Dylans out there. Dylan Long's the fastest, but he's just not consistent. You said he is the most consistent, and you're right, but he's still not very consistent. No one out there is. He can win a race. He can win one race by a mile, and then in the next race he's battling. He's back in 15th trying to get through a pack because he's done something silly like throw his goggles off mid-race or something like that. It's just a learning class. Well, it's not a learning class. These guys take it very serious, but these guys are learning through it.
Yeah.
Jay Wilson hasn't done too much this year. I thought he would have been a lot better. I know you spoke him up earlier, and rightfully so because he's fast. But he hasn't impressed me yet, and I think he should, and he might. But I thought he would have done a lot more by now.
Yeah, it's been a tough transition for him. As with all these kids, and he's not offering excuses, and no one is. But you're dead right, and consistency is the king, isn't it?
So professional, that class too. We call it the development class. Those teams though, they're full on. They mean business. Factory support
there's
across
trucks
the board.
here just with MXD guys in it.
Yeah, I mean, we keep neglecting to mention Ben George and the rest,
Axis guys.
the Axis guys. Like Benny George, had a big one in Coonabarra Brand, and lucky for us, he's all good. And his teammate Mitch Norris, man, the kid was amazing in Supercross. So he's won a moto, got on the box as well. So there's another couple of guys that definitely are moto winners.
All right, now our favourite time of the show. Pick the winner.
Here we go.
Let's hear who's going to win it. Let's hear what's going on.
MX1, it's hard to go past Josh Coppins at the moment. He's full of confidence. He's consistent. He wants to get that 50-point gap, as I said earlier, going into that break. MX2, it's going to be hard to look past Stykesy. He's so strong at the moment, like I said, full of confidence. He's just hard to beat. I'd like to see Boydie or Monia or Cade, one of those boys, get up there, but I think it's going to be hard for those guys to beat Stykesy here. And MXD, Dylan Long. he had a week off. They worked hard last week. I've been talking to Gilesy, the team owner, and he's ready to go get the win.
I'm going to stick with my usual pick, Todd Waters in MX1. I'm just putting it out there
So
for the Aussie
surprised.
kids. Yeah, fancy that, huh? Who'd have
No
thunk
way.
it? MX2 with Ben Townley here helping out Ford Dale. I think he's going to be pretty close. And I would say Ford, Gibbsy and Stikey will all be going at it with Monty and those guys. That one's almost as tough to pick as MXD. I'm going for a bit of a smoky in MXD. I think Kale Makem can do it in
not bad
MXD. The kid got on the box last time at one Thaggy, and he's pretty handy, and he's got that two-stroke working a treat. So there you go. And you?
For me, I'm going to go Lawson Bopping, CDR Yamaha. Got confidence in him. I think, Todd Waters or Bopping could step up and take the first Aussie victory of the season.
It's good to see you getting on board the Aussie kids too.
Yeah, no, but this weekend I think Bopping's going to get it done. Second last week. He's going to go one better this week. As far as MX2 goes, Luke Stike, I selected him last week in Wanneroo. He stood up, got it done for me, so that was good to see. I was afraid I was going to put the mockers on him there for a little bit, but managed to win that, so that was good. MXD, Kane Lamont. I don't actually know the kid, but impressive. I think he can get it done. Such an open field, though. Hard call there. But anyway, that's it for us. It's getting pretty chilly here, so we'll head off here. Remember to check out Moto Online on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter for all your social networking updates. Thanks for coming, boys.
Thanks for having us. Bucket balls!